Hi, my name is Amanda Panacea, and you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This is a community for self-healers, biohackers, practitioners, and any other helping professionals. You're in the right place if you're seeking conversations about how pain becomes passion, the connection between physical, energetic, mental, and our spiritual self, finding your body's ancient wisdom, the latest biohacking technologies, clinical research, and if you just want to nerd out about complex biochemistry and quantum physics. But this is also for entrepreneurs who seek infinite abundance and a supportive community. So pour a cup of King coffee or Sisters tea and let's join the revolution. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Healer Revolution podcast. I am your host, Amanda Panacea, and today I'm really excited to be interviewing my friend, Phoebecates. How are you, Phoebe?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. It's such an honor to be here with you today.
Thank you. I'm really excited to have this conversation because we've really only met briefly over the internet. And so I'm thrilled to hear your story. And we're going to get really deep into psychedelics and plant medicine. And I know it's going to be really juicy. So let us all know, how did you get to this point in your life?
Yes. So, I grew up with a broken family. I grew up in a third world, and my parents left me when I was 1 year old. And I grew up with grandparents in a big family, right? So I ended up really having that perfectionist caretaker. So there was so much emotion that I don't know how to unpack, and it shows into my relationship, into myself. So there were times that I just don't want to live in this world, or there was just so much going on that I've never really allowed to. And I tried to be okay. I tried to show that nothing really affected me in my past, or also that. So I dived in deeply into this healing world and all these different modalities until I find the plant medicine. So yeah.
Wow, incredible. I'm sure it's a lot deeper and longer than that.
I'm just making it short.
What were all the things you tried first before you made it to psychedelics?
Yeah, so I did coaching, therapy, and then again, I dove myself into the plant medicine. And I think the plant medicine will really call you. I never really have thought that it's available back in the Philippines. It's not really known about the plant medicine, ayahuasca, or all those kind of things. But I seen different documentaries, or it's just in Instagram or in social media, and it's just really pop into your page, right? The algorithm shows to you what are you looking for. And I'm like, wow, because I've been into this healing space where we do coaching and therapy and all that, but it seems like there's something beneath. It's something way deeper that our mind can comprehend. So I just have these chills every time I see about ayahuasca. That's how I oral started, and it's just so it just connected me, and I just jumped to it. I have a friend of mine that I met back in Hawaii, and they actually hold space. So then that's how I started. I went to Florida and I did my weekend retreat actually there. From there, and it's just blown my mind. It opened up so much beyond what I don't even know, the world out there that we think it's out there. It's actually been here all along. We just have been so programmed, and just a lot of things that we've been told, lies and all that thing. So yeah, and I become so passionate about it. And there was this instinct within me that I never really practiced my Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree, but then all this research and science that there is a profound healing in this field. So it really activates within me about my background to correlate the Western and the ancient healing. And this is where I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm sharing too. So yeah.
Amazing. And so you did ayahuasca first, is what you're saying?
Yes, I did ayahuasca.
So never had any psychedelics before you just jumped to ayahuasca.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
exactly. That's
intense.
But I did a lot of research. I did a lot of documentaries. So I did my own thing to really feel comfortable and safe. And I think one of the things that really I for me, what I've observed and really helped me is to have an awareness of how our mind works, because it can be so intense and really, bubble up and things. And if you know how to hold your space and you have the tools and ways to move yourself through that experience, then it can be easier and beautiful, but also it can be really hard and difficult too for people. So yeah.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of people see psychedelics and how much they've helped other people and they want to jump right in, but they don't have the language to like describe what's happening to them on a nervous system level. They don't have like somatic language to work through things. They just think, oh, psychedelics are going to solve all my problems. And that's definitely not the case.
I love that you brought up somatic, because what I observed too and what I realized, and how I wish I knew it ahead of time, that it's really important to prepare our body somatically, meaning our nervous system needs to have that space, right? So as of now, wherever we are in our life, we have so much stressors, traumas that we haven't really processed. And if we go into that plant medicine, it can, and our body can hold so much on it. So if you don't have that space to really get into your body, then it can have like effects, or it can be tough. Like I realized that on myself, because I haven't started somatic healing yet. When I did my ayahuasca, and I was shaking tremendously, and now I realized the fact that it's needed, for it to process, and it's been stuck into my body for so long, and which is really good for and the other side. But I wish I could have done the body work first before I went into and dive into the plant medicine. But whatever works, there's no right or wrong. It's everyone's calling is different, but this is just my perception. So yeah.
And I think having the language and the education first is necessary, because otherwise the things that are coming up, you're immediately going to resist and want to shut it back down, because that's what you've always done. And so it can feel very scary to finally have things come up that, you weren't ever ready to address. And if you are still either not ready or afraid to address it, or the sensations are really intolerable for you, then you're going to shut back down. Your nervous system isn't going to be able to handle it. So the education first before you jump into anything.
Exactly. I think prepare your mind, and then the body, and then the spirit part will come to life, and it will show you so much. So yeah. But you have to go through the depth first. You have to go into the freaking darkness. So yes, this has been the place for that.
And so for me, I started using psychedelics in like party scenes with alcohol, MDMA. And what I noticed right away was I don't actually like being around any of these people if I'm going to do psychedelics. So I would just not do them, because I was there to connect and to party and feel good. And I would always want to be completely alone by myself, like in the dark, in the silence, if I was doing psychedelics. So how do you explain the big difference between people that are using them in these partying scenes versus therapeutically?
Yes, I mean, there's no right and wrong, again, where however the medicine called you to do it, right? But for me, it's not just about feeling good. I think this is not the place for that, because it's gonna come up. My first psychedelic, the mushroom experience was actually on the January 1st in, how do you call this, New Year. And I was expecting that, right? Like, oh, it's a party scene, a celebration and all that. And it was totally, I wasn't downhill. So I realized myself like, ooh, and then I just walk out. All the people were dancing, and I went to the bonfire, and I have to process. And good thing I have all these tools. I have all these ways for me to really be with my emotions. So I really sat down with it, and giving myself permission to be okay, not being okay, despite of celebrating, right? And And I was with the medicine and trying to be my own therapist and trying to process like, okay, what's here for me right now? So I think that is where people get into it, because they want to feel good. I mean, we all want to feel good, don't get me wrong, but I think psychedelic is a very sacred and very powerful medicine. It needs to have a right intention, a right setting, and the right people. That's why people say, oh, I had a bad trip. And then this can be detrimental, because it's like, it can give to your body a negative impact and also traumatizing your body and your nervous system. Then you don't want to go into that, because you have thought that, you know, all these kind of things, right, that happened to you, because our past pain inform our future pain. So that's why we trying to run away whatever doesn't feel as good. So yeah, I think there is so much research and powerful stories or healing with a psychedelic in a right psychotherapy, in a right setting. So again, intention and intention with the right setting, right dose, the right medicine, the right people. These are very important. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, because I think that's a big drawback that people are afraid of, is the bad trip.
Yes, actually, it's just, this is the thing. Psychedelic is there to amplify what's already been there. It's to amplify emotion. This is a medicine. It's not just to pill to make good, right? This is the side effect. Yes, you can be in the blissful state. You can be in the heaven, right? You can feel that, but also it's how you hold space in yourself in the darkness time, and then it's how you can hold your space in that beautiful awakening of that medicine. But it's just not about that recreation or feeling good, but it's deeper than that. Actually, it's self-exploration. It's discovering your self-connection to yourself and beyond, and the spirits. And yeah. So
yeah, and that was definitely my experience. Like when people offered it to me in those scenes, I was like, no, because I'll have to go far away by myself and just go inward and, you know, work through things. And I'm here to quote unquote party. So, and so what's the big difference? We've been talking about more like macro doses, and what people would think of psychedelics is like tripping. Is there a scientific word for tripping, by the way? I've always wondered this.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure about that too, but microdosing is a small amount of practice taking psychedelic substance. So this is either LSD, or the most famous and safer way is the psilocybin mushroom. And this is where I'm so passionate about. There's a lot of studies and research going on about that. However, it's 1 out of 10 or out of 1/20. So you don't have any hallucinations or any subperceptual or anything altered state. So this is the macrodosing or the tripping, what we say, right? This is when you have altered state or all this kind of stuff. So microdosing is actually to make it easier as you go every day. You don't change anything, you don't realize it that you're having these changes, but in the science side, if there's neuroplasticity, it activates your 5-HT2A receptor, which is our serotonin. So this is the most sacred part, where it's so easy for us to change any hard encoded things in our life, patterns, limiting beliefs, and also this also decrease the receptor of the DMT, the default mode network in our brain, which is our ego self, this the me self, right? The patterns, the limiting beliefs. So this can decrease. So then we can put this is the neuroplasticity that we can adapt and change new behavior in an easier and way. So this is where the science goes for the microdosing. And there's no difference to when you take the micro and the macro, the tripping in the long term. They're all neuroplasticity and helps connection to the brain. And there's also lots of science that it interconnect. It makes our brain more flexible and easy to adapt. So these are the science part. And it's also a pattern disruptor. and it's an emotional reset. So this is the beauty where science can prove that, yes, it's working. And this is plant medicine, right? And this is way, way different than standard drug, where you take it all of your life. And then every day you are also taking the side effect. Unlike in microdosing, it's not harmful, it's safe in the mind and the body, and it's safe in the right dose. So that's why it's also very important, again, knowing the dose, integration, the protocol, also the medicine that you get it. So trusted source. So these are really important. And yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, when you reached out to me literally 3 weeks prior, I was sitting around thinking, there really needs to be a company that makes these with the dose and it's tested.
Right.
And then of course, there you were.
Yeah, I wasn't even really sure because it's not really still open, right? We're still in the early
Right.
stage. But there are a lot of studies, and I'm not sure you've heard that there is this a big convention about psychedelic in Denver, like just last week, and there's so much going on in big businesses and in schools and in university that are merging together and giving this money to really do the research, and millions of it they're doing it. So there will be a need for this in the next couple of years, and there's a lot of people are also venturing and dealing towards this, like any professionals in the health industries and all that. And I think there's a lot of beautiful things that can happen into the healing industry, where we are not conditioned into having medication all through our lives. So I think this is where really I'm very passionate about of going back into the ancient ways of healing and holistically.
Yeah. And I know a lot of states have decriminalized it. What is the legality for the states that have not?
Yeah, of course, it's still the same. It's illegal, right? So that's why there's a lot of people are not really sure of doing it, and it stopped them also from pushing through towards it. So there are a few states that are available and open, but with asthmacology and psychology, we can ship it to through the different state.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're there. It's like you are stuck.
Oh, I am stuck.
You
Oh, no.
freeze. Yeah.
Oh no.
But I can hear you. I think it would come. Then that should be fine if you see yourself.
Let me see if I can pause it.
That's okay. You can see me thoroughly
Okay, yeah, you're still
about
good.
yourself. Okay.
Hopefully it'll unfreeze in a second.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, let's just keep going. No worries. Yeah, so in certain states, so it is legalized. However, in most states it is not. So there's a lot of like ketamine clinics popping up everywhere, which I feel like the risk of ketamine is so much more intense than doing psilocybin. So I do see that coming up, but I wonder if the reason that's becoming more popular is because they can make more money off these IV infusions and nasal sprays, and you can patent ketamine because it's technically a medication.
Right. I think that's one way we can think about that. So I'm not really familiar with it so much. So yeah, I mean,
so ketamine's not a psychedelic at all. It's actually a dissociative, and I am not a fan.
Yeah. Have you tried?
Yeah, but it was back in the scene, like party scenes. People would do it recreationally, never done IV infusions, but it's also kind of being marketed. I've seen some ads that are like, do a ketamine trip at home, and they're selling you the medication and a journal and like an eye mask. And I was like,
wow.
what?
Yeah.
But as far as psilocybin goes, what's the big difference between the psilocybin versus LSD? Do you know?
I'm not familiar so much with LSD, and I haven't tried. I've only like heard or read in some research and all those kind of things. But I believe the safer way is the psilocybin. So there's more into research about that, and there's a lot of profound feedback from the Fadiman called them general science. Or, like where people give them informations about it. So yeah, there's a lot of feedback from people then from LSD. So that's why I'm not really sure about LSD. Yeah,
I believe the big difference would be that it's completely synthetic, and then the psilocybin is, I've always also wondered, why is it called plant medicine if it's a fungus?
That's a good idea. That's a good question. Maybe we can look back into fungi. The Netflix.
So one of
what I can think is it's part of the plant. So I'm not sure.
The ecosystem. And so one of the biggest questions that I get on Instagram about microdosing is it going to flare mold issues or candida?
I think it depends actually from the nervous system. Every people is different. Everybody is different. And the beauty of the psilocybin is adaptogen. So it adapts into your body, into your needs. So if that then release, it's great. But if not, and from that time, then, so.
So psilocybin sounds like an amazing way to change and go in a different direction that you've been going in. What are some of the rituals that you recommend for people who are interested in microdosing?
Yeah, to create really space in the morning, have intention with the medicine, talk to the medicine talks to you. And it's so wild. Like if you're really open and have an intention before taking it, and then it will connect to you, have that intention right and live it. And then it will just come to you. Maybe you're in your yoga or in your walking, but it will really connect to you. So for me, it really works when we do also our work, like when we get to connect to ourselves, when we move our body, when we do our journaling or gratitude or anything that we prioritize ourselves. Or even I studied dancing, moving through our emotion. If there's things coming up, breath work, I always do this. This is my to-go. So it's really powerful when you have that ritual, because from there it has the space to really go within with you with the medicine.
And so what were some of your personal biggest epiphanies while using the medicine?
There are a lot of things that came up to me, and one of the things that I will share you actually this morning, it's so wild. I've been asking like, what I need to release on my abundance issue in my life, like money issues, right? Because I knew it from back then in my childhood. I have so much of issues with the money, because we grow up money, and for me money equals pain. Money is equals causing of family troubles and all that. And also money can be taken away, because we went like bankrupt in such a short span. But it was so hard because it was, there you go. It was so hard because it was like you're used to having so much, and suddenly you're gone nothing, and then suddenly I stand up to be the breadwinner. So I have so much money issues that I need to heal on, and I asked that medicine to show me that what I need to release, or what I haven't been seeing or knowing, believing about this money, right? And then something came up, because I was supporting my family to the point that I prioritize them, that I give everything for them, to the point I have nothing left for me. So why would I work? So it was like, why would I work for it when it will just be gone for my family? Kind of that was, right? This is my subconscious mind. Of course, my conscious mind wants to create wealth to give money for my family. This is the conscious, but the subconscious, that old belief that I was so hurt and believe that money cause pain, money cause brokenness and trouble and all those kind of things. So I think these are one of the thing, but for sure there are a lot of things that I couldn't just think of it for now, but it's wild. It's like you're having your own therapy, right? And the good thing is
Right.
you have your own ways to process. And I think it can be really hard for people. That's why with my college in psychology, we do have integration with professionals from functional medicine. We do have doctors, so therapists, so whatever ways that you can collaborate with, because in these times of healing, we really need support to feel safe in our body and to feel really supported in our healing journey, because we can't do this alone. Even myself, I need people to hold me for me too. So
Yeah. And one of the main reasons why we become traumatized is not so much the event that happens to us, it's more of feeling completely alone and not able to process that event with anyone.
Exactly. And then when we are with people, actually, this is also co-regulating our nervous system. So this is the beauty of it too, when someone is there empathetically witnessing you healing. And this is where healing comes in too.
Yeah. And some of the, so personally, some of the big epiphanies that I always had, again, these were not in therapeutic settings. This was me in party settings, but after the end of using LSDs in particular, I ended all 3 of my prior relationships right after. So every time I would use it, it's almost like I would be like, what am I doing? This is not working. And intuitively, you just all of a sudden it clicks. Like it was what I knew all along.
Right. It shows you right in front and you can't deny it. It's just like so clear. So you're asking me about the biggest one. That was in my microdosing, the one I just shared a while ago. But if you were talking about the ayahuasca, it's wild. Like I've seen it, infinite, we are one, like all the things that we know consciously, but we can't really understand and really believe it in our body and system. So these are the biggest thing that, wow, we are really one and we can simultaneously be in one place and that place, like in, whatever universe. And it's just like, these are the biggest things that, we can't even have the words to explain and all this, but there are just a lot of magical and also dark and things that you don't even want to see. So let's not forget that it's going to show freaking deep, 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 but also, and the opposite can be so beautiful and blissful and amazing too. So
yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there are obviously some populations and people that should not partake in psychedelics. Can we go into some of what those populations are and why?
Sorry, say that again.
Can we talk about what populations should not partake in even microdosing or macrodosing of psychedelics?
I think when you have really the right intention, if the medicine is calling you, not for other whatever reason, but towards healing, wholeness, getting to know yourself, connecting, you mean contraindications that people are into?
Yeah, I'm thinking about like psychotic illnesses and severe bipolar disorder.
Yes, these are the things that are not actually, but there are also actually studies that have been gone through. So I'm not saying all those that, it's up to you person to person, but it's just the medication, the contraindication number 1 is the lithium. So this is the one that thinks, but other medications, there's a lot of people, a lot of medication who are taking off slowly with microdosing. So this is the beauty, but with the right proper guidance, right? A proper source of medicine. So these are very important, proper protocol and proper dose. So this is very important because people wants to take in to solve all their problems, to feel good, to feel not pain, right? Without doing the work. The medicine is a catalyst. The medicine is there to show you what, what's the reason all this pain or suffering. And then it's up to us to do the work. So I always say this, that microdosing is kind of like of a electric bike. We can paddle, but then the electric is accelerating and guiding you towards faster destination, what we call that. So yeah, but again, that's why in my college of psychology, we do calls first. We feel the person, what's their intention, how they want to feel, or whatever is indications or what feels good for them or not towards the medicine too. But again, there's no right and wrong. It's plant, and it's not addictive. It's safe. So
and lots of research about psychedelics with coming off of really addictive substances, alcohol, narcotics, and literally being a catalyst for rewiring, like whatever your addictive behavior was. It could be sex, it could be shopping.
Right. Even for me now, the coffee I used to drink 3 times a day, it's like I even hardly finish one coffee now. And that was my addiction. Like I stopped drinking, and I think the microdosing really helped me also. There are times that, what if I go back? But I'm like, no, there's no need. And again, it can really help with a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah. And just allowing you to be a little bit more present. So for me, I was very, very shut down, thinking I was doing good. Like, I'm over here not having sadness or emotions, and all my friends are struggling, but I'm really good. But then it was also like not feeling larger emotions, positive ones, happiness, it was just that flat line. And so learning how to like feel what was going on. Because if somebody asked me, 10 years ago, how do you feel? Like I didn't even have language or words to describe that. And with things like just somatic experiencing, psychedelics, you can really start to regain that living in the present moment instead of constantly being in fight or flight. I got to take care of this. I don't have time to rest. I can't rest, whatever the stories are that you're telling yourself.
Yeah, I love that you brought up, because that's me too. Like I tend to shut down and freeze and not move and all that. And when I'm in that state, I have to get up and move, because then when you move, you feel so much like, oh wow, like it's so hard to get out. I think that is the one challenge, but you just get out, like fresh breath, air, like water or nature, then you feel good. Like go to your favorite place, look up the sky, and just again be present. Because if I stay in my room and tend to not really move, then you get more out of it. So now it's like, okay, I want to repattern this, so I'm choosing to, instead of like this was my old behavior. And I think talking with compassion with yourself, that's our old self, that's our little us that has been so hurt and haven't known. And now it's like reminding her that we're choosing differently and we're moving differently, and we can do something about it. And again, it's a repetition, because there are times again that you go there, but again, it's just like it's gonna be just automatic. Oh yeah, I need to dance, or I need to go yoga, or I need to just go out. So it's kind of like just really being so kind and compassionate to ourselves, because it's so easy for others, right? And sometimes for us, we tend to forget that. And yeah.
Yeah, I love that you pointed out, getting out of your comfort zone or doing the things you already know intuitively are going to be beneficial for you. But with something like psychedelics, that intention behind, like I am actively taking charge of my life. I am actively changing for the better. I'm choosing something new. I am not going to choose my old ways, and I am going to be compassionate to whatever comes up.
Right.
And before we even started talking, you were talking about something, and you said, I just reminded myself it was the medicine.
Yeah. And now also what I need to remind myself is the medicine can show us, right? But it's the action. And sometimes it's so hard again to take that action. And it's just like, it's okay. Even 1%, even that little thing to, so.
And so let's talk about the company that you've been working for. You mentioned it a few times. Let us know what it's called and what your role is there.
Yeah, so it's called Mycology Psychology. Actually, I just started like couple of weeks. The moment that I messaged you, that's when I got in. And also, I'm a therapist practitioner. I'm affiliate into their healing modalities. So I bring on to my somatic breath work. I do my rapid transformation therapy and integration part of the medicine. So first is we do consultation. Again, that was what you did in the process, like what's your intention and what is microdosing, any question, basic questions that you have, and how you want to go and move forward to it. So there's a lot of things and guides in mycology psychology, and that's the beauty. It's a very trusted company. I deeply believe and really love it. Their intention is so pure and loving. And they've been into 30 years of mycologists that have been doing the research. Yeah, so that's why when I did my research, I love them, like, aligns my value, and they really believe in community. So we do have a once a man community integration. So they also really deeply believe in integration. That's why there's a lot of practitioner and therapy to move you through whatever help that you need to move through. So yeah, it's just not they give you the medicine and that's it. We are one. You come and you're welcome, and you can ask support and help in any way. So that's the beauty. And we do medicinal grain strain, the one I was mentioning, grade strain, I mentioned it to you. So that's the beauty too. And we do the fruit, not the mycelium, because the mycelium has low potency. So it's, the fruit has more strength, purity, and that's the beauty of our medicine. And yeah, the community is so beautiful. Everyone just want to help and support you in any way. And yeah, I'm so thankful, and I'm still learning and growing all this field. But yes.
Yeah, I love the name, Mycology Psychology. It's perfect. And so if somebody is interested in microdosing and they're worried about it, what would you suggest? Like, do you have any sites that have a lot of research on it? Does Mycology Psychology have a lot of like blogs about how it works?
Yeah, we do. If they can go to our website and see all the details there, and that's where the consult as well. They can ask question. It's for free. If feels aligned, and that's good. If not, there's no pressure, so they can throw all the questions there. But they want to do a lot of research. Google is so good at it, right? The maps, psychedelic science there too. Those are the things I go to. So yeah, do their own research and then come up and ask questions and see that feels aligned. Because if the medicine is gonna call you, I deeply believe it's gonna call you. It's like, it's just your intuition. And that's what we believe in too. It's not about advertising, but it's connecting or feeling into, towards.
Yeah. And then what do you see in your personal future working for this company? What are some of your goals and aspirations?
My biggest really goal is I'm thinking now of taking my nursing exam so I can do psychedelic nurse. So this end goal. So I don't know how, when, and so, but this is where I really want to have my own healing and wellness, where people come and then just really heal in a natural, holistic way. Natural. I really am not a big fan of pharma. I mean, there's time and space for that, right? I don't say it doesn't work, but it's just for long term. Like, I think it's time for us to really see and know that, there is a lot of ancient and healing in the plant and nature ways. So
And
hopefully.
that is another thing I didn't even bring up, how close you actually feel to nature when you're using psilocybin. Like, you
Wow.
just, the stereotypes of like wanting to run barefoot in the woods is totally accurate.
I could even go here in the backyard and just lie down every morning, have my ritual and have my coffee. And I'm like in awe. And then I'll boil down and I cry with some emotions. And again, I'm like, wow, I'm here. It's beautiful. It's wild. So that's why I love to bring this medicine, because I believe that everyone deserves to feel alive, to feel connected, and know the truth. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something that I heard it explained as at one point, and I was trying to explain this to a family member because they were, I'm not doing that. I don't want, that sounds scary. I don't want to be on that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. The way someone described it was they had been dealing with depression for decades. And when
Right.
they started microdosing, the first thing they noticed was that the tree outside their house was beautiful. And it
Exactly.
was just as simple as that.
Right. And there's a lot of people to say that, oh, I start smiling again. Oh, I start feeling again being me. So there are a lot, so they can start looking at it. And it's so wild when I hear this people saying that I'm scared and all that, but they're not scared about the pharmaceutical, right? The standard drug. And I'm like, you don't even freaking know how it can affect and side effects in your body. Right now, it's helping you, but in the long term, I'm sorry, like this is just the reality. And that's why I deeply believe in this. And I'm still really starting to learn more and really own it and share it, because a part of me, stigmatized, especially from Philippines, like, oh, wow, no, it's like really big no. But then if it can help people bring back home, then why, like, why would I not? So it's like, yes, it's for me, there's it's a must to be shared. So
Mhm. Yeah. And it's easier for people to take a pill and to not deal with something, or to say,
mhm,
I'll deal with that later,
right,
than to actively face things as they're coming up, because then you don't have any of your addictions or habits to keep you safe. So that's that ego, like always wanted to keep you safe.
right,
But with something like even just microdosing, it's scary because
mhm,
you're going to face something raw without the crutch
ex-
to make it less painful.
right. And we don't want to feel pain. We would run away from pain, right? And this is the mind too. We love comfort, we love safety, we love something we know. And
Mhm.
anything that's something beyond what we know, it's like we're running away. No, it's a death. So it's like we prefer to be where we are now and happy and just so mess up and all that, instead of trying something. Again, it's so engraved in our body, and it's just we've been so programmed to that it's okay to be not okay. So that's why, like, for people out there that who've been looking to and who've been cold, who've been wanting to explore, I mean, there's so much beauty beyond what we know, right? Like in life. And they just have to take that risk, because every day is a risk. Life is a risk. Are they going to risk where they are, or risk something more beautiful to unfold and something more magical in their life?
Right. The beauty and the growth is always in the unknown. It's never
Right.
in the comfort.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm.
Awesome. So I'm sure we could just keep talking about how
Mhm.
amazing this service is, but I'd
Mhm.
love for you to tell the listeners where they can find you and how you can help them, the
Mhm.
internet, social media, all of it.
Yeah, so you can find me in Instagram, Phoebecates Perez. I'm into root cause healing, somatic, and integration. So if that's your job, contact me. Or if you're looking forward to microdose or want to know more about it, we do have the free consult in my link. So just go there, and I would love to have you, and I would love to speak to you. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right,
Mhm.
Phoebe, any last words, any words of wisdom?
Mm. Take it easy to yourself, release that pressure we put so much on ourselves, and enjoy every moment, because we just don't know, right, tomorrow. So I think even for me, I have to remind that in myself, and to be grateful for this life that we are alive today. So, and thank you so much for having me too.
Yes, of course. This was really fun. I'm really excited for everyone to get to know you and to
Mhm.
know that there is this service out there available.
Mhm. Right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, everyone. I am just so thrilled that you're listening to the Healer Revolution podcast. This has been a huge passion project for me and super therapeutic on top of that, helping me to use my voice and connect with other like-minded individuals. So if you're enjoying the podcast, please like and subscribe. Please share on social media or with your audience or friends or loved ones. I truly appreciate it. It does take a lot of time and financial costs to run the podcast, and it is not a moneymaker, let me tell you. So if you are enjoying this, I would truly appreciate your support just by sending me a post, a like, and a subscribe. Thank you so much.